Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to study about the precipitation reaction. So, what do you mean by the precipitation? Actually, when a soluble antigen combines with its antibody in the presence of electrolyte at a suitable temperature and pH, then it will lead to the formation of antigen antibody complex, which leads to the formation of insoluble precipitate. What I said, when the soluble antigen, always in precipitation happens with the soluble antigen only. So when a soluble antigen combined with its specific antibody in the presence of NaCl, that is an electrolyte, at a suitable temperature and pH, then it will lead to the formation of antigen and antibody complex, and after that you will able to see the formation of insoluble precipitate, as we discussed in the antigen antibody reaction that occurs in three stages. So in secondary stage there will be a formation of precipitation. So when antigen antibody reacts, after that there will be a formation of insoluble precipitate, and it will form with the soluble antigen only. You can see in the diagram, in the last tube you can see the formation of precipitate which settles down. So this is the precipitate, and that this occurs with the soluble antigen only and in the presence of proper electrolyte, that is NaCl, and at a suitable temperature and pH. So this is the precipitation, and precipitation can occur in the liquid media also or in the gel media also. Okay, they can occur in both liquid as well as gel media. Now, instead of sedimenting, in first diagram, you can say that in third tube of the first diagram, that precipitate which is formed is settled down. If it settled down, then it is a precipitation properly. But instead of sedimenting, if the precipitate remains suspended as floccules, the reaction is known as the flocculation. You can see this in the diagram. You can see that there is a formation of precipitate which is suspended as a floccule. That's why it is not sedimenting. So this reaction is called the flocculation. So I hope it is clear to you what is precipitation and what is flocculation. There is a difference between precipitation and the flocculation. Get it? Now, precipitation reaction. Actually, the formation of precipitate is influenced by the proportion of an antigen and antibodies. But obvious, the amount of antigen and the amount of antibodies influences the precipitation. How it influences, that we are going to see now. Suppose that you have taken the few tubes in which you have added the equal amount of antibodies in each and every tube. What I said, you have taken tubes, number of tubes around, suppose that you have taken 10 tubes in which you have added the same amount, equal amount of antibodies in each and every tube. Now, after that, what you have to do, you have to add the increasing amount of antigen. Get it? What you have to do, you have to add the increasing amount of antigen. What does it mean? Suppose that you are adding 1 microgram antigen in first tube, so you have to add 2 microgram in second, 3 in third, 4 likewise. So likewise we are increasing the quantity of antigen in each and every tube. Now what will happen? Look, each and every tube contains soluble antigen and antibody, so there must be a formation of precipitate in each and every tube. इट इज पॉसिबल कि हर ट्यूब में प्रेसिपिटेशन दिखे? नो, इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. एज आई टोल्ड यू, द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेट इज influenced by the proportion of antigen and antibodies. So you can say that there will be a formation of precipitate only in the peak zone, that is in the equivalence zone. What do you mean by equivalence zone? Means what? Where there is a equal concentration of antigen and antibody present, that will only lead to the formation of precipitation. How? Look in this diagram. In this first yellow region, you can see that there is an antibody excess zone. Why? Because I told you that you have added the same amount of antibody. Suppose that you have added the 5 micrograms of antibody in each and every tube, and you have added the increasing concentration of antigen. So you have added like this 1 2 3 microgram as a, likewise you have increasing the concentration. So in first few tube, what will happen? The concentration of antibody, that is 5 microgram, is more in comparison to the antigen which is present in the low concentration. For example, in first tube it is 1 microgram, in second it is 2, it is 3 in third, and 4 in fourth. So in first few tube there will be a antibody excess zone. The presence of antibody is more in comparison to the antigen. So in the antibody excess zone you are not able to see any precipitation, but in the fifth tube where there is the equal amount of antigen and antibody, 5 microgram antibody and 5 microgram of antigen, so that is called the zone of equivalence. That is called the peak zone, where the amount of antigen and antibodies are equal. So what happen in the equivalence zone? In equivalence zone there is a formation of precipitation. Why? Because there is a large lattice is formed between the antigen and antibody. That's why this is that is possible only in the zone of equivalence, where the large lattice is formed. When the large lattice is formed, then only the precipitation occurs. And after the peak zone, that is after the zone of equivalence, what is happened? There is a antigen access zone. Why? Because in every tube there is a same amount of antibody, but after fifth tube what will happen? There is an increasing concentration of antigen. For example, in sixth tube there is an 6 microgram of antigen, in 7 there is a seventh tube there is a 7 microgram of antigen, likewise. So after the peak zone there is an increase in the antigen concentration. So later tubes are called the antigen excess zone, where the amount of antigens are more in comparison to the antibodies. So it will not lead to the formation of precipitation. Why? Because large lattice will not form in the antibody excess zone. And in the antigen excess zone, antibodies are interacting with the antigen, but large lattice will not form. But in case of equivalence zone only, there is a formation of large lattice, because of which precipitation occurs. Get it? Now I think it is clear to you what is the mechanism of precipitation and what exactly the precipitation means. Now we are going to discuss some of the applications of precipitation. So this test, precipitation test, may be carried out either as qualitative test or the quantitative test. Now the question arises, what do you mean by qualitative and what do you mean by quantitative? So in case of qualitative, we are going to detect the presence or absence of particular antigen or antibody. Sorry, we are just going to check whether the antigen or antibody is present or not. So if you are checking the presence or absence, then it is called the qualitative test. But what do you mean by quantitative test? Quantitative test means what? आप सिर्फ presence और absence तो check कर रहे हैं, उसके साथ साथ what you are checking the amount of antigen present or amount of antibody present. Get it? कितने amount में वो present है, तो that is called the quantitative test. So you can use the precipitation for both qualitative test and the quantitative test. Now, as little as 1 microgram of protein can be detected with help of precipitation test. And the identification of blood and seminal strains, and in the testing of food adulteration. With the help of precipitation, you can even check the food adulterants also. And you can check the identification of bacteria with the help of precipitation. Now, after this, we are going to discuss the types of precipitation test. So, first is precipitation. As I told you, it can occur in the liquid media also, and it can occur in the gel form also. So first we are going to discuss precipitation in the solution. So there is an example of precipitation in solution which is called the ring test. What it is called? Ring test. In this, what will happen, you have to take a small diameter tube. आपको बहुत चौड़ा मोटा ताजा ट्यूब नहीं लेना है. You have to take the small diameter tube. Okay, so you have taken that a small diameter test tube. In this, you have to add the test anti-serum. Why it is called test anti-serum? Why? Because you have collected that serum from the patient, and in the patient serum you are detecting that that particular serum contains antibodies or not. किसके अगेंस्ट एंटीबॉडी कर रहे हो? सपोज दैट मैं कह रही हूँ मुझे ना सपोज दैट सिफिलिस हुआ है, तो प्लीज आप चेक करके बताइए कि मुझे सिफिलिस है या नहीं. तो इन दैट केस व्हाट विल यू डू? यू विल टेक माय सीरम. तो जब आप सीरम लेंगे तो उसमें क्या चेक कर सकते हैं? इधर यू कैन चेक द एंटीजन प्रेजेंट इन माय ब्लड, और यू कैन चेक द एंटीबॉडीज, क्योंकि अगर एंटीजन है तो माय बॉडी डेफिनेटली फॉर्म्स द एंटीबॉडी अगेंस्ट इट. So you can check both, whether antigen or antibodies. So in ring test, what we are checking? We are checking the antibodies against the particular antigen. So my serum is called the test anti-serum. If I said anti-serum, means what? You are checking the antibodies in the serum. And test क्यों? Why? Because उस serum में आपको check करना है. So that's why my serum is called the test anti-serum. So in a small diameter tube, you have first added the test anti-serum. Now after that, you have to add the clear solution of test antigen, just to form a distinct upper layer. As you can see this in the diagram also, in the this short small diameter tube, the person added the red color shown the antibody. ऐसा red और black color नहीं होता है. I made this diagram just to differentiate कि antigen और antibody अलग अलग दिखाई दे. So ये जो नीचे red color है, that is the patient anti-serum in which you are checking कि antibodies are present or not. और उसके ऊपर आपने क्या ऐड किया हुआ है? सॉल्युबल एंटीजन. ठीक है, ये आपको आर्टिफिशियली लैब में अपने सिंथेसाइज किया और फिर लेके आए हैं आप. तो आपने ये एंटीजन ऐड किया. नाउ हेयर विच एंटीजन यू आर गोइंग टू ऐड, अगेंस्ट विच यू आर चेकिंग द एंटीबॉडी. ठीक है, पर्टिकुलर स्पेसिफिक एंटीजन ही ऐड करना है. Now after 4 hours of incubation, there is a formation of ring of precipitate at the interface of two liquid layer. Get it? After 4 hours of incubation, you can see the ring of precipitate. कहाँ पे बनेगी वो? बिटवीन एट द इंटरफेस ऑफ टू लिक्विड लेयर. ऊपर क्यों नहीं बनी और नीचे क्यों नहीं बनी? क्योंकि क्या होगा, लुक, everything will move from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. नीचे रेड जोन में the concentration of antibody is higher, तो वो भी थोड़ा सा ऐसे ऊपर आएंगे, ऐसे समझ सकते हैं आप. एंड टेस्ट एंटीजन का concentration क्या है? ऊपर ज्यादा है और नीचे कम है. तो दोनों जहां पे दोनों मिलेंगे वहां पे क्या आएगा? बेसिकली रिंग ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेट विल फॉर्म होगा. तो इस रिएक्शन में आपको एक रिंग ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेट फॉर्म होता है. दैट्स व्हाई दिस इज कॉल्ड द रिंग टेस्ट. एंड इवन यू कैन सी दी रियल डायग्राम ऑल्सो. देखिए, ये जो थर्ड डायग्राम हमने बनाया हुआ है, इसमें आपको एक व्हाइटिश कलर का रिंग दिखाई दे रहा है. दैट इज द रिंग ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेट. गेट इट? ये एक रियल एग्जाम्पल है कि कैसे रिंग टेस्ट दिखाई देता है. यू कैन विजुअलाइज इट प्रॉपरली. So in ring test, what you have to do, you have to first added the antiserum and then test antiserum, then you have to add the clear solution of test antigen, and after 4 hours you uh, after 4 hours you can see the formation of precipitate, okay, at the interface of the two liquid layer, and that precipitate forms in the form of ring. That's why it is called the ring test. Get it? So thank you.